Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 7 builds you guys should try in patch 7.35c. Obviously this patch was primarily nerfs, which was a little bit disappointing. However, there still were a few buffs here and there, and on top of that, even when a lot of things are nerfed, it really does shape up the meta because obviously certain heroes like Slark and Faceless Void take a tumble. Mage Slayer is a far worse item now. Shiva's is a far worse item now. And when these things change, when certain items fall off, it enables heroes that didn't like to buy those items to finally shoot back into the meta and become strong. So we're going to be getting into 7 builds. I have some really interesting ones, couple of core builds, couple of support builds. Think you guys are going to really like them, and let's get into it. All right, starting off with the first build is a build that didn't change too much in the patch, but I have 12 alch games in the last few days. I've been spamming the heck out of this hero, and I really recommend you guys play him. I think he's going to be incredibly good in this meta. I think he's going to be really popular in the pro scene. And the reason why I definitely think this is the case is the items he likes to buy are very, very meta. So the general build for alch nowadays is phase boots or treads, kind of depends on what you're going for, into radiance, then blink, and from there, there's a lot of different variants. This is where things get weird. However, what I recommend is either going Sanjin Yasha or Orchid. The reason why is both of these items are significantly buffed. Yasha and Sanj received a buff in terms of cost. Sanj gives more healing and more status resist. And so when you put these items together, you get a huge reduction in cost. It's 100 gold, but it still is a big deal. And the item is overall better too, right? And so you can become really tanky, really, really strong because Sanj gives a lot more healing amp now, right? And with Alchemist, that's obviously incredible. There's a lot of synergy here. You can become this obnoxious frontliner with Sanj and Yasha, or you can go Orchid and do a ton of DPS because Orchid is 200 gold cheaper. And then I like to go back for the other one, right? If I go Orchid, then I'll go Sanj and Yasha. If I go Sanj and Yasha, then I'll go Orchid. And then you're really tanky, you hit really hard, and the Orchid is really important because not only does it give you the ability to kill people, it solves your mana problem that this hero naturally has, right? So a really big fan of this build. I think it plays out well as the Orchid then allows you to buy a Bloodthorn later on and continue to scale in damage on Alchemist, a problem that the hero often has. So yeah, I can't recommend this build enough. It's incredibly powerful, and I think it will be very good in this meta. Then we have Leshrac Support. I do think Leshrac Core is fine and good and is something I'm actually going to try in the off lane, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. But Leshrac Support is really cool. It's something that was really popular a long time ago. This has been a build that's been on and off for a long, long time. It's never really had a super strong spot in the meta, at least not that I can remember, but perhaps that might change this patch. They recently just buffed his W, Edict, to 10 damage per tick, right? This is crazy. It does 40 explosions at 10 damage, and it's pure damage. That is 400 damage. Keep in mind, most heroes have 600 to 700 health at level 1, so if you catch someone out of position, or you catch someone with a stun, a Split Earth, which is generally what you skill at level 1, unless you want to fight with Edict out of Rune, you're going to kill them. And that's the reality of Lesh Support. It trades pretty well due to its stats, and with the buffs to Edict, it's one of the best laners in the game. It's actually very, very hard to play against, and if you pair it with a stun, like a setup stun, such as Sand King or Slardar, or anything of the likes of Mars, you can really dominate lanes. Or you can put it as position 5 and lane it with like a Sven or a Chol Warlord or a Wraith King, something also with a setup stun. And I really believe in these situations, Lesh Support can be very dominant early on. Now, the build that I've seen multiple players do, Snaking has played 3 games of it already. I'm sure you guys know who that is. He just won the recent Dota tournament. What Snaking does is he goes Greaves. Now, I'm a big fan of Greaves. They recently buffed the item to give it mana regen, and that's pretty cool. It's nice. It helps this hero a lot. However, I'm not fully sold on Greaves Lesh. The reason why is the hero innately has mana problems, and this gives it more mana problems when you buy mech. So yeah, it's a good fighting item. The reason why people do it is you just fight. I think the logic is you try to use your ulti as little as possible, try to primarily just play around your W, and just get in, get a kill, and die, right? Pop your mech and die. I think that's kind of the angle. You're obviously going to buy a wand, you're going to buy raindrops, mana boots, of course, right? So you're going to buy the typical just mana item, mana item, mana item, hopefully get a Royal Jelly, something like that, maybe a Trusty Shovel, maybe Seeds of Serenity, maybe Arcane Ring, either an HP regen or a mana regen item, and then with a mech, you just kind of run in frontline. But the big thing here is the buff to the W and the buff to the activation cost, the mana cost on the ulti has made the hero much more viable support, as well as a core. This hero actually is quite fine as a core, and they nerfed Mage Slayer. Yes, Mage Slayer is still good, which is why I don't think Leshrac is going to be some obscene hero, but it definitely helped. All right, then we have Zeus, who is a hero that I've been recommending for a while now. It's one of the best pub heroes in Dota. kind of always has been due to the fact that it scales well, reliable laner, it always does damage, even in losing games it does damage. Zeus is just a good pop hero. It always has been due to the nature of the hero. And I would say Zeus is in one of the best spots he's ever been in because he scales like crazy now in a really unique way that can be played at a really high level as well. So if you aren't familiar with the current Zeus build, it's Phylactery, and then there's some variation after Phylactery, but it's Phylactery for early fighting. And then it's either Kaya, so you can, spam your Q and farm, which is personally what I recommend. After they buffed Kaya, it's cheaper now and gives 2% more spell amp. So I really recommend going Phylactery Kaya and then upgrade that Kaya into Kaya Yasha, an item that was also buffed, right? So you can kind of see why this is good. It plays around one of the stronger items. And then you buy your shard, or you disassemble the Kaya Yasha into a Manta style. And the Manta style with the shard, it basically procs the shard does damage, it shoots arc lightnings when you auto attack, and the Manta styles, the illusions will work with that. And that's why it's so powerful. And now Kaya is in the best place it's ever been in as a standalone item, right? So really big buff for Zeus. This build has been good, and now it's better, right? Because Kaya's better, Yasha's better, Manta's better. Manta's been buffed so much as of late as well. And then from there, honestly, it's pretty standard what you do on Zeus. You just buy Hurricane Pike if you want to be a little bit more tanky, kind of get those auto attacks from further away, and then you buy a Moon Shard. I've seen some people experiment with like Gleipnir and Mjolnir, just more lightning damage and a little bit of attack speed. That's fine as well. All right, next up, let's get into a hero that's probably going to be one of the top meta, if not the top meta carry of the patch. Now that Meepo is nerfed, Slark is nerfed, Faceless Wood is nerfed, the last hero I would say that was like really consistent at a high level that I was seeing at least is Luna. She just hasn't been touched in a negative way, and she's been good. And now, as I said, they buffed Yasha. This is obviously a great item for the hero, and that's the main selling point. I would love to go more in depth and say, oh, this is good in the meta now for her, and this is good in the meta. It's not like this hero was killed by Mage Slayer. Yeah, it's not good for Luna, because early game eclipses a lot of her damage. So sure, right? When you only have Manta, Mask of Madness, and you team fight against the Mage Slayer, it actually would crush the hero, so that helps. It's certainly a hero that doesn't like Shivas, but that's most carries. Let's not go too crazy about that. But yeah, it's just the fact that Manta is an incredible item right now, and the hero didn't get touched. I'm not going to go too much more in depth there because I would honestly just be creating shit, just making up stuff to say for the video. So yeah, Treads, Mask of Madness, Manta, Dragonlance if you need to fight a little bit earlier on. If not, you can just go into BKB, and then Conda with your level 20 talent as well as your shard. I generally recommend buying the shard right before or right after BKB. This shard is one of the most broken shards in the game, and we'll keep this hero top meta for a while. All right, then we have a weird build, which I'm going to be making a video on tomorrow. So this will be tomorrow's video, but it's Terrablade support. You heard me right, Terrablade support. Now, this is something I've done, I think, twice in the past. And Terrablade is generally known as a carry, so and one of the hardest carries in the game. So not something you'd think of as a support. But I'm telling you guys, this hero is a pretty damn good support, and for a multitude of reasons. Okay, first off, laning. Much better now. The reflection is 2 seconds cooldown better at all levels. This is one of the better trading abilities in Dota because it does quite a bit of damage, it slows, it gives vision, and it only costs 35 mana. So you can just use it and then use it and then use it. You do not have to ever think about using it, just use it. It costs no mana. From there, Metamorphosis is easily one of the best trading abilities in the game. Sure, it's a long cooldown, but it's gonna get you a kill in most scenarios. They also just gave this hero 2 base strength. That is massive. It really is massive because this hero, its main problem was HP. Has no armor problem, it doesn't have an agi problem, it hits really fast, it doesn't have weak spells, it had low HP. That is obviously really good for Terrablade that he has this change. On top of that, this is one of the best Blood Grenade heroes in the game because it heavily benefits from the bonus health and then it heavily benefits from that slow. You're often going to get a kill with Reflection plus Meta plus Blood Grenade. It's a very classic combo where the 5 would throw it, but as support Terrablade, you just throw it yourself. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to go insane. You're going to say this can't be viable, it can't be good, but let me further explain a little bit more. First things first, illusions are just useful, okay? They can block camps, they can stack camps, they can scout, they do a lot of things. Like illusions and units are just useful. Sure, it's hard, that's why most people stay away from unit heroes, and some of Dota's unit heroes are actually the least played heroes in the game. That is a truth. But Conjure Image is just useful if you get even decent at using it, and you don't have to take more than 1 point in it because you're a support. And so you can leave this ability at level 1, it lasts for the same exact duration, It's the same tankiness at level 1, it's the same cooldown, but costs less mana. So leaving this ability at level 1 is really good. As I mentioned, they buffed the Q, Metamorphosis is just a fine fighting ability, and then finally Sunder can be used in a ton of different ways. If you're low HP and you're a 1500 HP support Terrablade, you can Sunder their 3000 HP Doom, right? Or you can Sunder your teammate from full HP and save them. There are a lot of use cases for Sunder as support Terrablade. In fact, there are more use cases on average because you can use it to save more consistently than a core Terrablade would want to. Now, in terms of items, for early items, it can be, branches, stick, blood grenade, fairy fire, just like the useful trading items, then into raindrops, boots, just like the standard trading items and a ton of stats, right? You want to stack stats. From there, you buy wand, and then you buy drums, right? You want to buy the windlace and the belt of strength first, so you're tanky, and then drums eventually gives you a mana pool. After that, you're just going to build into these standard carry Terrorblade items, and some of these items have been buffed, right? Once again, you're eventually going to get a Manta style or a Sanjin Yasha, and that's nice. But yeah, it's drums, just so you can fight early game and have an HP pool, into treads, into Dragonlance, so you can fight. And trust me, you'll do more damage than you think. You're a good laner who can make stacks for his teammates, who can roam, he fights well on the runes. Like, this hero is legitimately not a bad support, I'm not kidding. All right, next up we got Greaves, Kaya Sanj, Death Prophet. Greaves are one of my favorite items in the game right now, at least mech is, so I'm a big fan of DP buying mech. She did get nerfed in the recent patch, which is crazy to recommend a hero that just got strictly nerfed. Also, Shiva's got heavy nerfed, which is like the best DP item, so it feels like a weird thing to talk about DP. But Greaves, Kaya Sanj, two of the best DP items, are really great right now, especially Kaya Sanj. Once again, Kaya got buffed, Sanj got buffed, the combination of the items got buffed, right? And so this item's in a great spot, and it's a really, really great DP item. So the general build I recommend is Greaves, because I think this item's just really good. And then you fight early game with, of course, like wand, raindrops, like all the fighting items. This hero's a fighter. Then you go Kaya Sanj, buffed super hard, and then Octarine Core, and you're just this really strong frontliner. And finally, the last hero I want to talk about is a hero that didn't get touched, but is a Greaves hero, and I think Holy Locket Greaves is a great combo of items. I have a coaching student who is a huge fan of Holy Locket, and I actually kind of agree with him. As crazy as he is, I actually agree with him. I think Holy Locket plus mech is this incredible combo of items in the current patch, and with the nerf to Shivas, with the nerf to Vlad's, I think mech will see a rise in popularity. I've been thinking that this item is just undervalued. It's kind of overshadowed, that's the problem. It was overshadowed by Vlad's, it's often overshadowed by Glimmer, but on a hero like Io, I think the combination of Greaves, Holy Locket feels ridiculous. So if you're looking for a save support and you want to kind of try out how powerful this item can feel in the current meta, I really think Io is the hero to do it. Undying is a good second, as an honorable mention. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the 7 builds to try in patch 7.35c. I always recommend at the end of these videos, in the comment section down below, leave the heroes that you've been trying, that you've been playing this patch, that you think are strong. Maybe I missed a few. Maybe I missed a major one that you really think everyone should try. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.